City, and I'm RJ City, and you are listening to the MonsterCast. You're going to talk about Bela Lugosi. They're going to talk about Lon Chaney Jr. be so sad, holding his hat, saying, "Please put me in this room and don't unlock the door." And you can't do any better than the Dahl brothers, Jack and Ryan. They're brothers, but they're also bros. What? Pardon? Wrestling. Well, who the hell wants to talk about wrestling? These are horror movies. It's a deep genre. It's a smart genre. Fantastic actors. Fantastic cinematography. Wrestling is just sweating and fireworks and bouncy ropes. There's nothing. So how can you talk about that every week? All right. Let's see them try. Take it away, you crazy dolls.
You.
Jesus fuck my fucking ass. What the fuck? Please shut up.
No. Master Watto is a
shut
champion.
up.
You're gonna put some respect
Stop
on his
fucking
name
saying
now.
Master Watto on this fucking show.
IWGP Junior Heavyweight Co-Champion.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here. You're watching the MonsterCast with Jack and Ryan. A big shout out to those fellas. Good people. Check them out.
Oh my god, what is this?
It looks like a
making
TV.
The New Japan titles. They need to stop
It
making
looks like
titles.
a TV, bro. They took it too literally. That's the problem.
They should have just turned it into a TV. I would have been more impressed.
That would have been cooler.
Put some
Make
antennas
it-
on the top.
No, just make it like a digital title. Like you could display whatever you want on the
Oh,
digital.
like an
title.
LCD screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then have
That'd be
the
sick as
picture
fuck.
of the person that's the champ. That'd be so good.
Oh fuck.
That'd be worth it.
Wrestling podcast. How fucking original.
Jake and Brian, Brandon Cutler here from AEW, and I hope you guys have an awesome podcast with the MonsterCast. What was that? Your name is Jack and Ryan? Shut up, Jack and Ryan.
Tell me who you would sign first.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
No, not overall, genius. Between the two goddamn examples I'm about to give you.
Master Wada.
Killer Cross or Dominic Dijakovic, who are you signing first?
Killer Cross. 100%.
What the fuck?
Absolutely.
Wrong! That
No,
answer is
I would.
wrong.
I would.
Oh
Killer
my god.
You don't know shit! Your opinions suck!
I guess I mean, you're welcome.
Fuck, I'll boo it.
But I don't think I've ever said boo.
I will.
That's so stupid.
I'll do it. Boo! Boo! You can't. Don't actually say the word because that's why it sounds weird. You gotta. It's like more of like a note. Boo! You don't fucking actually say boo.
No.
Boo! 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 You don't turn it into a fucking chant. You actually have to.
I will. I'm gonna do that at Forbidden Door.
Just start a boo chant. Boo! 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 Boo!
Here's your hosts of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster Jack and Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's the MonsterCast. I am your host, the Straight Edge Monster Jack. That's Ryan Rockwell. We're back. What have we been up to the past 3 weeks? I think it's been 3 weeks. Getting ready for All In. I believe we talked about Double or Nothing last time, actually. Almost did a show last week. I almost did one last week. But I gave AW some more time to let All In breathe a little bit so I can get some more details. And we're actually going to start with something I was supposed to touch on last week and I didn't. And it's really old news now, but it's still important to me personally to talk about this. And that's Sabu's passing. Obviously, I've mentioned on the show, I'm sure, in the last 5 years that Sabu was my favorite ECW wrestler. And that my favorite ECW match of all time was actually Sabu and Rob Van Dam versus Jinsei, Shinsaki, and Hayabusa. And the feud with Taz is probably one of my favorite feuds of all time because it was legit for a lot of it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, Obviously, I'm going to miss seeing him. I'm glad that I got to see him in AEW, which is currently my favorite promotion. I'm glad that he was in my favorite promotion back when I was a teenager. Well, obviously, ECW, if you had any kind of angst as a teenager, ECW, if you were a pro wrestling fan, ECW was your favorite promotion because they just didn't give a fuck. And if without ECW, you would have never got the Attitude Era. You would have never got NWO. You would have never got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Probably would have never got Mankind, honestly. Mick Foley in WWE as well. Some of the best promos ever cut were in ECW. Some of the best matches. You would have never got Lucha Libre without ECW. Sabu was crazy as fuck. You would have never got hard in America, I mean, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Sabu, I think Taz, obviously the man who would know the most besides RVD, obviously, put it the best when he was on Dynamite, and he said Sabu was aura before there was an aura in wrestling. Like, he was it. And I mean, I don't know how you see a dude like Taz, of all people, choke up on fucking national TV and don't feel something. Like, Taz is one of the toughest motherfuckers of all time. And him and Sabu broke their fucking arms, necks, and kept wrestling. So, like, ECW was also, that's another reason why I think I loved ECW so much, is because these motherfuckers would kill each other and come right back out there and do it again. Whether it be FNW, WCW, WWE, AEW, or ECW, Sabu was always somebody, or TNA, also, he was also in TNA, doing crazy shit, Monster Ball matches and shit. His match with Terry Funk is also high up on my list. The Born to Be Wired match was insane. No one had ever seen any shit like that over here. So the Terry Funk match and the tag team match and then of course the Taz matches were always really high up on my list. Sabu was definitely one of my favorites, and then the push that he got and the moniker of suicidal, homicidal, genocidal from Paul Heyman always hyping him up. Like, he was just a beast, bro. He was a beast. The fact that you had someone so crazy that multiple people thought he was a botch waiting to happen, not knowing that he botched on purpose, just to fuck with you because you didn't know, is crazy. It's crazy to think about that. The man was so insane and didn't give a fuck about his body that he would literally botch on purpose. So I'm going to miss him, obviously. I can't imagine the amount of pain that motherfucker put his body through for my entertainment. Probably more than anybody else that I've ever watched, especially for that long. Maybe Mick Foley's up there, obviously. But yeah, Sabu, fucking legend. And anybody who says otherwise, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I just wanted to get that out of the way because Sabu obviously was my favorite, and I wanted to talk about it last week, and I totally forgot because we were talking about stupid shit like Jurassic Park holding up for multiple times and stuff like that. So I made sure I put it at the top of the thing of the outline today because I really wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I loved Sabu, and I'm gonna miss him as a wrestler. It hit me probably as much as Warrior hit me, just because when Warrior passed away, it was right after that crazy promo that he cut on Raw. Like, literally the next day he passed away. It was insane. And Sabu just had his retirement match with Joey Janela like a week before, 2 weeks before, whatever it was. And for WrestleMania weekend, and then passed away. And I was like, I think those ones hit me a little bit harder. Macho Man hit me hard, but it wasn't as bad because he wasn't on our TV every week when it happened, you know?
Yeah,
or not even recently. Yeah. So I those three definitely hit me more. Like, a lot of people say Eddie Guerrero hit them the hardest, and I understand it because they were young fans of Eddie Guerrero when it happened. And it don't get me wrong, Eddie's sucked, but those three hit me more just because the circumstances around it and stuff like that. I still stand firmly by the way that Sabu should have beat Rey Mysterio at One Night Stand to win the world title I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was a missed opportunity for sure. I thought that would have been cool to have him and RVD champion at the same time. It would have been like the ECW version of Eddie and Chris Benoit, by the way, which is kind of the ECW anyway, because they were both from ECW too. But I thought that would have been cool. But we're back, and we're definitely going to start off the show today with hype levels. We haven't done hype levels in a while.
All in.
Yeah, well, for All In and Evolution too.
Come on, ease up on Evolution. They're getting put in a position that they'd rather not be in.
You ever heard the term at work? You've been set up to fail for set up for failure.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like. It's not their fault.
right. But they're gonna point at whatever numbers and be like,
Correct.
oh, well,
This is
well,
why
they
we
do that
haven't done it
good.
in. This is why
Yeah.
we haven't done it in 7 years. This is why we're not going to do it again. A third one. They're setting them up
Yeah.
for failure. Yes. There's no way
running it
I'm
up to
watching
All In
that.
is crazy.
Well, it's technically the next night, but I'm just not. I'm going
Yeah,
to work
But it's
Sunday
in the
night.
same. Isn't it in the same fucking area?
Oh, I
also-
don't.
is
I
it
actually
also
don't know
in
where it's
Texas?
located because I haven't been paying attention to it. I know some of the matches. The matches actually look not terrible. I also don't like the fact that you waited 7 years to do this, and Trish Stratus is in a world title match. You're phoning in the match. Like we know Tiffany Stratton's not losing to fucking Trish Stratus. I hate that kind of shit.
My fault. No, it's in Georgia apparently.
Georgia.
I don't know why.
But
I
it's
thought
on
it was
Sunday.
In
No, I'm not watching Goldberg's retirement match on Saturday night. I'm not watching
You think it's gonna be a
Evolution 2.
retirement match?
You think he's beating Gunther? Don't start, dude. Don't start. I'm so glad we're not doing
Hold on,
predictions for
I
that.
didn't say it. Hold on, I didn't say anything about him beating Gunther. I just said maybe it's not. He might come back for another one in like a year.
No, the whole thing has been he's been literally talking about his retirement match this whole time.
He was doing that fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah, and we haven't
He
seen him
wants
for
to
that
have one more
long.
little run for his son or whatever. That
His
was
son
the
has
whole fucking
grown
thing.
up.
Oh, he's got to see him one more time as an adult. Then, like, and then what? He's got to see me for his 30th birthday.
All right, we're going to talk. First, let's talk.
doing?
First, let's talk hype levels for All In. They've announced 8 matches so far. They've actually pushed the Athena Thunder Rosa match to Supercard of Honor, unfortunately, so it won't be on All In. So that sucks for me. But I understand that Supercard of Honor needs something Friday night. I think Supercard of Honor is Friday night. So it's a long,
And
it's a
Athena does carry
long
that
wrestling.
brand, so.
It's a long wrestling weekend ahead. You got Supercard of Honor Friday. Saturday is All In. Saturday night is Saturday Night Main Event. Then Evolution 2 is Sunday.
I don't know
So
why I thought they were running in the same area, but yeah, running in the same weekend is also crazy.
I don't know. Look up where
Like-
Saturday Night Main Event is. Maybe that's what you were thinking about.
It's
Is
also
Saturday-
Georgia.
Oh, it is. Okay, got you. All right.
Because that one is Georgia, and that's why I didn't take the other one.
Yeah,
out,
that's
too.
because I figured that's where it was because that's where Goldberg is from, obviously.
Yeah.
So do you think he's gonna win because they're in Georgia? And oh god, that's so bad. God, that's so bad. That can't be right, dude. That can't be. I would feel so bad for Gunther and then Jey Uso too. So Jey Uso, you lost it so that Gunther could have, or so that Goldberg could have it. So you dropped it to make Gunther the paper champion, the transitional champion. That would be so crazy.
Well, that's why I'm almost leaning toward Goldberg winning, is because if that match ends with Goldberg losing, does it really matter if it's Jey Uso? It would give him more credibility, kind of. The match would be fucking awful, but do you move it to Gunther if you don't have Goldberg win?
I don't know, man.
I'm making you worry now. I'm
No,
making you
I
worry
don't.
now.
I'm not worried at all. I'm not watching it, so I'm not worried at all. I'm not watching it, dude. I promise you, I'm not watching that. I don't care. I legit do not care. Unless I don't have anything to do on a Tuesday morning when I get home from work, I'm not putting that on. By the way, speaking of stuff I've been starting to watch, I just started watching Queen of the Villains about Dump Matsumoto versus and the Crush Gals on Netflix. Have you heard of this? I didn't even know it was a thing. You know how I figured out it was a thing? Because the Crush Gals are not in my fucking 1988 mod, so I made them. Because I had to make the Jumping Bomb Angels, and I had to make Akira Hokuto, and I had to make Jaguar Yokoto, and I had to make fucking Manami Toyota. And I'm sitting there like, damn. And I'm like,
That's weird. I'm surprised she wasn't there.
None of them were in there. None of them were in this mod. This whoever made this mod did not give a fuck about Japanese women at all. Even though they were the women's wrestling back then. But they did have Bull Nakano in it. But I think
I heard it was Medusa.
they had Bull Nakano in there because of Medusa, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have like anybody. So I was making all of them, and then I started thinking, I was like, I swear there was another fucking team that I was forgetting. So I like looked it up, and I was for sure enough, I was like, yep, Crush Gals. They had one of them in there. They had Chigusa in there, but they didn't have Lioness Asuka for some reason. That was the one they left out, and they didn't have Dump either. So I had to make Dump. I had to make Asia Kong too. Fucking insane. So I was making them, and then I was looking for their picture, and to do all the shit. And that's when I came across this. I was like, man, this picture's really fucking clear of Dump. Find out it's fucking the actress. It was a promo picture for the fucking show. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I've got Netflix. I got Netflix as soon as WWE went over, and I haven't used it at all because after the first 2 Netflix Raws, I was over it already. And then I was planning on keeping it until Happy Gilmore 2 came out. So I watched Heels on there a couple months ago. I watched the whole series of Heels, and I'm super pissed that they canceled that because that ended up being a crazy cliffhanger. But I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is on Netflix. So I went to go look at it yesterday or last night, and I actually watched the first 2 episodes. It's pretty good so far. But anyway, I don't know what the fuck was I talking about? The fuck was I talking about? That's what I've been up to. All in. Well, actually, we're talking about WWE.
Yeah. We're talking about Goldberg and
the real women's revolution. Everybody talks about what the real women's revolution was, by the way, and it annoys me. So
that's what I just was joking about with Medusa being the
that makes more
women's wrestling or whatever.
Medusa versus Bull Nakano women's revolution in America makes more sense than Paige versus Emma in NXT, which a lot of people point to. TNA women's roster was fucking killing it before that. You had Gail Kim over there fucking killing it. You had Awesome Kong over there. You had Taryn Terrell, who y'all fucking had as Tiffany, making her look stupid as fuck, and actually learned how to wrestle over in TNA and had a fucking banger with Gail Kim. So Taylor Wilde over there, Roxy over there. Oh my goodness. Victoria was over there, yes. Tara, whatever.
Daphne was too.
Daphne was over there for a little bit. You had the beautiful people who were like the most fucking highest rated segments of their show for a long time. So like when people talk about the real women's evolution in America, I actually go back further than that. I think Lufisto and Sarah Amato, which is Sarah Del Rey, obviously, from Ring of Honor in America. That's who I would point to. Where even though Medusa and Bull Nakano were getting TV time, they weren't getting 12-minute matches. They weren't getting to actually beat the shit out of other dudes because their women's roster was so fucking weak. Intergender matches and shit.
And technically that was still just Japanese women's style at the time.
Correct. Obviously they took it over from them. Yes. Yeah. But in America, I would say that was but the real women's revolution is Crush Gals, is Jumping Bomb Angels, is Dump, is Bull, is Aja Kong, is Manami Toyota and Akira Okudo. Like, let's be real here. That's the women's revolution, because if that never happened, I don't think anyone would ever have given them, and it's crazy to say, but a lot of people don't understand how over the Crush Gals were. People compared them to Hogan in the 80s of their popularity. That's insane.
Booked very Hogan.
As far as wins and losses, maybe, but not as far as work ethic was better. Matches were longer.
I'm not saying they went out there and got a
tag team, by the way, a tag team at that, which we already know how tag teams are viewed in some of these companies. Tag team women's wrestling, by the way. And then on top of that, you got Akira Hokuto versus fucking Manami Toyota and shit like that. Like, that's insane. Or Bull Nakano versus Okudo. Like, that's great. Like, I don't think people understand, bro, how over the women were too.
Revolution in America yet?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because if you're comparing it to Japanese women like what they have with entire women's from like multiple.
Do they
women's
have the
promotions.
talent to do it? Yes. Have they done it?
Probably,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Totally
But
agree.
also, how much of that is just because the men's companies over there don't have like mixed rosters really?
Are you talking about Japan?
They were like, yeah.
Well, that's the
So,
thing is
it
like
got
they
forced in faster.
But it still took them forever to get it. But what I'm saying is that at least in Japan, you had all women's promotion actually rival the shit to the point where their top tag team was viewed as just as popular as Hogan was over here, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
So, like,
I mean, what's the closest equivalent here? Is like Glow, maybe?
well, WoW now, I guess. But yeah, Glow.
Yeah.
But Glow in the 80s, yeah, sure, I guess. But that was a bullshit promotion, let's be real. Like, it helped inspire young women or whatever, but it wasn't because they were actually good at wrestling. You had Lisa Moretti was good. That's about it. If you look at their actual roster of women, Lisa Moretti, who turned out to be Ivory, was like their only legit wrestler on the fucking on the roster, dude. They were all Vince McMahon fucking gimmicks. It was terrible. Everybody had a job. It was the early 90s Vince McMahon thing, bro. Oh, you're a trash man. Oh, you're a clown. Oh, you're a fucking repo man. Let's be real here. Like they might have
Repo
been
Man
inspired.
didn't have enough matches for us to be remembering him so much every time the gimmick.
He had great storylines, man. Stole Macho Man's hat,
Yeah.
stole British Bulldog's I don't know, collar. I don't fucking know what the fuck was going on with the British Bulldog one, but yeah. Oh shit. You're a voodoo dude.
We need another Repo Man.
I don't think we do. Who the fuck would be Repo Man right now? Who would you say? John Silver?
Yeah, you can do John Silver.
He's actually strong enough to like actually fucking pull the cars and shit too. Like you don't even need the machine.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do evolution hype levels then, since we've been talking about women this whole fucking time.
Brother, I couldn't tell you a
paper,
single fucking match on that card.
Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for Tiffany Stratton's title.
Oh, right, because they've been doing. Yeah, okay.
Which is a phoned in fucking thing. Like, I love Trish Stratus, don't get me wrong, but she's not winning over Tiffany Stratton. So what's the point of this match exactly? Then you have the triple threat that got announced this week, where it's going to be Becky versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental title. Then you've got the 4 or 5-way tag team match that I think they're still waiting on the Raw tag team or the NXT tag team, some shit, I don't fucking know, where Roxanne Perez, who took over Liv Morgan's spot because she's injured, teaming up with Raquel to go against Charlotte and Alexa is the SmackDown team. And then I think they're still trying to figure out who the Raw and the NXT team are. I can pull it up real quick just so I'm not forgetting anything. They've got a decent amount of matches actually announced already.
If they really want to sell some fucking tickets, dude, this is when you beg AEW for a little bit of trauma partnership.
They have a battle royal. They have a battle royal that's going to happen.
Statlander and Willow as a tag team in that match.
They have a few people listed for the battle royal already, but they're not listed on here. But I think Stephanie Becker is going to be in that. Whoever wins that battle royal gets a world championship match at Clash in Paris. Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no holds barred match.
That'll be all right. Naomi will carry it, but it'll be all right.
Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the other women's world title match. And then JC Jane versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship are the matches so far announced. I think it's hilarious that we have 7 matches announced for this all women's pay-per-view, but we only get 5 matches announced for men's ones. Yeah. And one or two of them are usually women's ones. So who's really being held back here? It feels like the men are.
That's a good argument. You should definitely bring that up on Twitter and see how that goes for you.
Obviously, that's a joke. Obviously, that's a joke. Oh shit!
Now do it by match time.
Oh shit, that's funny. Yeah, this is gonna be the shortest pay-per-view of all time. I have 9 matches, and it's gonna be an hour and 30-minute pay-per-view.
6-minute and 45-second battle royal. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I assume the battle royal is where they're gonna fucking put all their people in, obviously, so you can at least say you were on the fucking card or whatever.
You know, on one hand, it feels weird to make fun of it and be bitching about it, and then be like, they need to do more women's stuff. But then on the other hand, it's their fault because they haven't really built up a lot of this, and a lot of the stuff that is like
Well,
kind of built up, like the Jade and Naomi stuff is built up. The Becky Lyra stuff has some history to it, obviously.
the thing that
And
was built
then
up was Liv Morgan, and she got hurt.
right.
That's
and
what
then
that's
the
what they
Trish
said
stuff
fucked up
is
the whole
just-
thing. Yeah,
The
Well,
Trish
I don't
Tiffany
care.
stuff is just very, I don't know.
phoned in. It seems lazy.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Why didn't you just put Trish in the fucking? You know, I'd just put Trish in the fucking battle royal. Why
Yeah,
couldn't you just put
have
Trish
it
in the
be a
battle royal and
surprise
have her be like the second, like the runner up or whatever, to get thrown over by whoever wins it to go fight for the title at Clash in Paris if she can't go to Paris type deal. Like do
Have her
that.
come out third, last till the end. It'd be a good little.
Well, it's a battle royal, so
whatever.
they're all going to start in the ring at the same time. It's not
okay.
yeah.
Well, that's even worse. They
Yeah,
need
it's
casino
worse.
gauntlets in other promotions, bro.
Casino Gauntlet is a great invention. It really is. You could potentially have 21 people, but it can end before that. That's a great concept, I think.
Yeah. I think you want the early number.
I
And
think
you
one of
want-
the better nuanced storyline things that AW ever did was when Roderick Strong was going to be the next entrant, but the match ended and he got pissed off and told Tony Khan backstage, he was like, I was fucking supposed to go out there next. I want a fucking shot at the title or whatever. And so Tony Khan gave him a chance at it or whatever. That I thought that was funny because like you're sitting back there, so it gives off the impression that it really is, you know, randomized or whatever. You don't know when the match is going to end. And I thought that was cool. So I like the Casino Gauntlet. I'm loving the fact that they're going to have two of them in All In. But before we get over there, with those matches that I have announced on the show here, I personally announced them. If I would announce the matches, they would have been better. But I assume that the Raw women's team is going to be the Bellas because Nikki was supposed to be involved with the Liv Morgan shit on this pay-per-view, and that did not happen. So I'm thinking they're going to be the quote-unquote Raw team, and then there's going to be an NXT team, and I don't know who the fuck the NXT team is going to be. Maybe the champs. I don't fucking know. Maybe whoever do they have tag team champs in NXT anymore?
Didn't they
For
merge
women?
them?
I thought they merged them too. Yeah, they might not even have them anymore. It's hard because it's supposed to be defended across all brands, but it's not. So it's hard to keep up with.
I'm not. I don't think I'll even watch it.
I have a better shot at watching this than I do Saturday Night Main Event. I'm gonna be real with
Yeah,
you.
that's true. Because
Especially if somebody comes out and says, "Oh, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley was slapped," or Jade Cargill and Naomi fucking was crazy. They did some crazy spot. Then yeah, I'll go out of my way to watch it. And I'm too lazy to
definitely
jump forward.
I'm not watching it live.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
not watching.
no, I'll be at work.
I'm not watching Saturday Night Main Event at all.
Can't do
I
it.
don't care.
My height level for
So,
this is I'll say 5.
That's 5.
Yeah, I'll say 5 for this. And that's no knock on the women. I'm glad they're getting like Mercedes said, this shit should have happened a long time ago, bro. How do you have
And
the first one and then be like, nah, it was our lowest rated pay-per-view? That's because you don't ever fucking push them.
And because the storylines that you build toward them are usually very like paper thin and boring as fuck.
Created more titles to have less matches. Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, it's because it gets people to shut up about their booking if they have a title, even if they're not actively defending it.
All right, we'll both give it a 5. Let's go to All In Texas hype levels. Matches so far announced.
A 10.
8 matches also announced here so far. I don't think we're going to do the predictions today. I think I'm going to say the predictions.
Yeah.
Because
Good idea.
Because
That's a big ass card.
Well, not only that is because I think they're going to have more matches added too. And I want to do it and then
So you gotta piss off all those British people. So we gotta add at least 4 more.
I know, dude. I think didn't we talk about that on the last show where I was like, this is one of the dumbest arguments of all time. Okay, I thought
Watch
I did.
it tomorrow.
I swear I thought I
Go to
went
bed.
off. I pulled something in my neck, so I can't really yell too much today. It's been hurting all fucking weekend, but
It's old age.
But I definitely want to yell at somebody. It was because of I think honestly it's because I think I did the dumbbell shrugs incorrectly and I pulled something, or I did it too many. I went too hard too fast.
Pretty hard one to fuck up.
Yeah. Well, I am old. Yeah, I am old, but I'm pretty sure that's what it came from. It's only one side. It feels a little bit better today, but I don't want to go backwards. So I'm just trying not to yell about that again. But it is the dumbest argument in wrestling. The pay-per-view is too long that I paid $50 for. It's the dumbest argument ever. I hate anyone if anyone says it, I block them immediately.
If I get too tired to continue watching the AEW pay-per-view, I think I would just pause it, finish it in the morning.
I've dozed off during AEW pay-per-views. I've dozed off during AEW pay-per-views. I've literally had people over.
Hit rewind.
I just watch it later. It's no big deal. I've never complained about it before in my life, and I've dozed off on not many, but a few of them where I've actually had people come to my house and I dozed off because being up all day, getting ready for people coming over, all that shit, eating a bunch of food, getting the itis, and then fucking watching this pay-per-view. Yeah, okay, I dozed off a little bit. It ain't because the pay-per-view sucked, and then I wake up because everybody's like, "Hey, the scrum is on." So I put the scrum on, I watch the scrum, they all leave, and guess what? After they leave, I got a second win, and I just go back and watch what I missed. It's literally no big deal. I don't understand how someone bitches about getting too much of what they paid for.
Or just like the idea that you have to watch it immediately live. It's very weird.
It's not food. It's not going to go bad if you don't consume it.
Yeah. You don't do that with other shows, right? If a new episode of something debuts, you don't watch the fucking premiere, okay, just go watch it tomorrow or the next day or whenever you have time. That's not hard.
I'm not mad at anybody telling me that fucking Queen of Villains wasn't a thing. It was a thing, rather. It was a TV show. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm watching the 5 episodes right now. What are we talking about? Why are we mad about it?
It would make sense to complain about for WWE pay-per-views because especially back when they were on Sundays. Because then if you did regularly watch Raw, then that shit was just like irrelevant or spoiled or whatever.
You'd have to watch it before Raw, yes.
To go back and watch it?
Yeah, you'd have to watch it before Raw,
correct. About a fucking Wednesday weekly show. You got 3 days.
One of the worst things I used to hate as a kid too, by the way, was on Raw they would be like, "Hey, we'll catch the pay-per-view replay on Tuesday if you'd missed it." And I'm saying, like, we already know everything that happened though because we just watched Raw. Why the hell would I go pay for?
And you just had 3 of the same fucking matches from the pay-per-view rematch on Raw.
Yeah. Yeah. WrestleMania rewind match. Like, what the fuck? Stupid. Yeah, that's annoying. All right. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné for the Women's World Championship. John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas Death Match, which I wanted, and apparently a lot of other people did too, because they fucking popped hard. Now, of course, people online are bitching about it being a Texas Death Match, which is the dumbest thing ever.
It's in Texas, and they've had one before. What are you talking about?
And you already, so you're going to bitch when the Death Riders and the Elite interfere, right? Now it's legal. So now you can't roll your eyes and say, "Oh, that was a bullshit finish" or whatever. Now it's part of the match. It makes sense.
And now you can do your whole little Avengers Swerve and Osprey and whatever.
The good guys that never want to cheat, now they can come out and beat the fuck out of them without any repercussions, and it doesn't make Adam Page's victory look any cheaper, assuming that he wins. Okada versus Kenny Omega.
First.
Yeah, Kenny versus Okada. First time ever in AEW in a one-on-one match. Winner takes all match to unify the AEW Continental Championship and International Championship into the worst named title. Yes, into the worst named title of all time. Participants for the TBD and TBD of the women's and men's Casino Gauntlet match. These matches are going to slap because TK at All In, dude, the last All In Wembley when Nigel came out and Zack Sabre Jr. came out and Ricochet came out. It was insane. I can't wait to see what he comes up with here. I do think actually
Texas talent.
I think JBL might come out. I'm not even joking. He might come out. But I actually think there's going to be more surprises in the women's Casino Gauntlet than there is the men's because of who's available on the indies right now that got released from WWE. So I think we might see a couple people come in. You might see a Dakota Kai. You might see a Priscilla Kelly. You might see, like, even if it's just a one-off thing or something, or they go straight to Ring of Honor afterwards. I think this might be a spot where you see a couple of those people come in.
I can see Indy Hartwell like showing up for the match, but not necessarily getting signed or whatever afterward.
Well, she's in Maple Leaf Pro right now too, so I don't know.
Yeah,
and TNA obviously as well.
MJF
she's in TNA, and TNA has the thing going on with WWE. I highly doubt she'll be
Yeah,
There.
that's true, actually.
Swerve and Osprey versus the Young Bucks, or the Founding Fathers is what they should be just called now, honestly. In a tag team match, and if Osprey and Strickland lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for a year, but if the Young Bucks lose, they will be stripped of their EVP titles. Either way, I really wish they would have been stripped of their titles for a year, because then you wouldn't have known which way this was going. Because I love the fact that they made the challenge for Swerve and Osprey, you only can't challenge for a year, because then it made me think, oh shit, there's a chance that Osprey and Swerve actually lose this fucking match. But we already know that if
there is a chance they lose the match.
I do too now, because we already know the Young Bucks are going to be EVPs, bro. They're real EVPs. There's no point of even trying to do that on TV. There really isn't.
McMahon was the owner while he was an announcer, so
yeah,
who knows?
In the 80s and 90s. This is 2025. There's way too much information out there. Jack Tunney, that's so good. But no, I do think the Young Bucks actually win this match. But I really wish that the Young Bucks would have only been stripped of their EVP titles for a year and just given to Osprey and Swerve, or given to TK to have full power, or whatever the fuck you may be. Like, it would have just been Kenny and TK. Something like that. Then it's more of up in the air of what the hell is going to happen. I don't really like stipulations that phone it in of who's going to win. I can't stand that kind of stuff. Like, for instance, Mercedes versus Tony Storm is only for Tony's title. It's not for Mercedes titles.
Right.
So I'm leaning towards Mercedes, obviously.
Well,
are you not? Are you leaning towards Tony because Mercedes can still have her titles?
I would say if all of Mercedes' titles were on the line, then it would make it more obvious that Mercedes wins.
You think so?
Yeah, because every fucking promotion isn't going to agree.
Wow.
Like, yeah,
every promotion that she has isn't going to be like, Tony? To call him Tony, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, maybe.
Well, then they would have to pay her separately.
But you're automatically getting to book her too, so that's cool. You think Tony? You're saying that? I mean, Tony probably is cheaper to book than fucking Mercedes is.
You think so?
I think so. I guess it would depend on if Tony wants to do it too, though. Is that a thing too? I mean, it doesn't matter because the titles aren't on the line, but you get what I'm saying. Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship.
They got to pull the trigger on Fletcher there, yeah.
I think so. Which sucks for Cole, but whatever.
His run's been getting better. People were complaining about it at first, but
Fletcher is I'll be complaining about it later. Fletcher is one of the, he's going to be in a Dolph Ziggler position if he fucking loses this. Where like you got to win something. Ring of Honor TV title or whatever the fuck you had ain't it. You got to do something on the main roster here. A title?
No, against PG.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. A title, bro. Every time he has a title match in AEW, he doesn't win.
It's because they keep putting him up against motherfuckers like Osprey. I think he could be Adam Cole.
He beat Osprey though, just not for the title. Hurt Syndicate will go against Jet Speed and the Patriarchy in a three-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. I think Hurt Syndicate win here. I think the triple threat is an easy way to keep the titles on the champs. And I think this is going to start the actual split for Cage and Wayne finally, hopefully. If they do want to pull the trigger on the Edge and Christian thing, obviously. Of course, there's going to be more matches announced. I have no idea who the fuck's in these gauntlet matches, so I can't give you who I think's going to win. But I mean,
I think Juice is healthy again, so he might be in there.
Yeah, Jay White. I don't know when Jay White's coming back, but he could be a cool surprise entrant too.
I think his hand's still fucked up.
I would lean towards like Megan Bain winning the women's one, or maybe even Athena coming out as a surprise person because their match is going to be the night before, and she's from Texas, and Thunder Rosa's from Texas. You could have them both come out back to back and reignite whatever the fuck happened the night before. You know, something like that would be cool.
Whoever lost comes out after the one who won, and then they just start fucking throwing again.
Would it be crazy if, like, the best thing would be, like, let's say Thunder Rosa topples Athena, finally, right? Then the next night, Thunder Rosa comes out as the surprise entrant. She's doing her thing, and then Athena comes out as the next surprise one right after and actually ends up pinning Thunder Rosa. Now she gets the title match. Now she gets the world title match on AEW, but then like Thunder Rosa has to go to Ring of Honor or whatever. That'd be funny.
You know, I don't
know about the men's though.
Dislike Thunder Rosa
Jay White would be, if Jay White comes out, I would prefer Jay White to win the whole thing if he comes out.
Yeah. So somebody asked on Twitter the other day, like, how would you book the next 4 world championships in AEW? And I was like, Hangman, Jay White, Hangman. Because you have to, at some point,
have Hangman go over Jay White. Yes. Yeah. Because Jay White's always got the upper hand on him, yeah.
Jay White is like up like 7-2 on him or something.
Yeah, and the 7 that he won were like the biggest matches. Adam Page beat him, but they were nothing was on the line for him, so it didn't matter. Type deal.
Yeah.
Then maybe who after that? Okada beating Jay White.
So I think in that post I had said Ospreay.
Oh, Ospreay, yeah.
And then after that, you have either Swerve.
How long you think Hangman and Jay White going to have these titles? Because Ospreay's not going to get a shot at it for a year, so because he's losing.
Well, I think that would bridge whatever that gap is.
You think so? Okay.
3-4 month reigns, yeah.
I'd be okay with seeing Omega get it back, or an Okada get it, and then Ospreay comes back and he can challenge for it again and go after whoever. The problem with the Swerve Ospreay thing is if they lose, the year ends up at the exact same time for both. So as soon as it's over, they're both coming into the world title picture, unless somebody has a title of somewhere else. Like maybe if Swerve has the fucking unified title or something, I guess it wouldn't matter. But like if neither one of them have a title, they're coming in at the same time to make claim for the world championship that they haven't had a chance to win for a fucking year.
You know, the whole thing with the EVP as a stipulation too is that it's not like it's a binding fucking permanent thing either. So if they lose the titles, well, they could just say, "Hey, Tony, can you hire us back?" Wouldn't that still be fine? They did.
You could lose. You could also have a return match too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where Ospreay and Swerve win the tag title match, but then they have another match because the Young Bucks desperately want their EVP titles back. They say they'll give them something that is enticing for them to say yes, and then the Bucks end up winning, and then they get their EVP shit back. But I think the founding fathers rather win. Honestly,
you do a pretty good heel turn off of that angle too. Just have them pay off like whoever.
I just don't see why I don't see how we live in a world where TK gave that much money to an Okada, and this man ain't gonna be your world champion. Gotta be.
Because they're considering whatever this unified championship is to be the second world championship.
Well, I'm not. So it doesn't matter what they consider it as. That's not what it is. So
I am.
I'm not considering that.
If it's either fucking Kenny Omega or Okada that has it, it's hard to say it's not that.
I can.
Because right now, the reason that I don't really, so in that like, oh, who's your next 4 world champions? The reason that I don't book either one of those two as winning it is because I feel like the AEW's in a weird position where they have like a really stacked title scene, and then they have people that are almost like they're too good for the world title scene. Where you don't need to put a belt on them, so I don't care. They don't have to go win the belt. They're always going to be like
then why have the title at all?
Bosses of that promotion to put people over that need to hold it to get credibility.
Well, I wouldn't even have the title at all if that's the case. That's what I'm saying. Like if they're too good for the world title, then why even have the title division? Just have the TNT be for the younger dudes or whatever the fuck you want to call them, because Adam Cole's not young obviously anymore. But
hey, no, he's
the guys that are underneath that could potentially the TNT dudes are guys that you should be putting the title on that you actually see eventually challenging, not necessarily winning, but challenging in a serious way for the world title. And Adam Cole obviously main evented their biggest show so far against MJF. So him having the TNT title technically makes sense to me. Yes, your roster is stacked. I agree with you. It is definitely stacked. However, you don't need 2 world champions if you're not going to have split the brands up, and splitting the brands up is a dumbass idea for AEW.
First of all, they already have 2 world champions. Secondly, this is just talking about
Who's the second world champion?
Tony Storm.
Oh my God. That's not what I'm talking about, first of all, and you know this.
Sexist. Sexist again outed.
Oh my God, damn. Oh shit. They don't have 2 fucking women's world champions.
No, they don't. Because they don't have a Kenny Omega. Or
So you don't
Okada
consider
equivalent in the women's division.
Mercedes you don't consider Mercedes on the same level as Tony Storm, the 2 champions that they have in AEW. That wouldn't be the same thing. That wouldn't be the same thing.
No.
You're telling me Tony Storm holding one title and Mercedes holding their other title, it wouldn't be the same as Okada or Omega holding one title and Hangman or John Moxley holding the other. That's not the same to you.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. This is not to do with the whatever the fuck they're calling this belt that I'm not calling it.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it the Intercontinental. I don't give a shit what they call it.
Yeah. Or just call it the International. Yeah. Or the International, which is a better name than Continental anyway. So yeah, I agree.
But the what I was getting at with that is that I don't need them to have the world title. So this is more like this is for people that need them to have a belt for them to be credible, but they could not have this belt at all. This belt could not exist. And I would still say that I view them the same way. Like, you don't need to have Kenny Omega be your champion or Okada be your champion, because they're just the level that I see them at is like they're always going to be so credible and so like this is the final challenge that you have in that company and the best that you have in that company, that you put people against them as like their biggest challenge, not necessarily as part of a title picture. But yeah, like the thing is, if you need that person in that role to have a title, then sure, just treat this like a second world title. I don't need this belt to exist to have that same opinion of their place in the title picture or whatever.
I'm saying is I don't think it should exist. Is my argument is if that's how you're going to treat it, then it doesn't need to be treated that way. Like for instance, we all know as AEW fans who the fuck the top guys are. It's the same fucking 5 people every time we talk about it, 5, 6 people, or every time we talk about who the fuck are the top wrestlers in AEW. It's Ospreay, it's Omega, it's Okada, it's Hangman, it's Jay White, it's Moxley, it's Pac when he's there. Yeah, like we know who the top wrestlers are. It's not like they're not getting the shot to be those either, besides Claudio. But Joe, by the way, Joe's up there as well. So like
Swerve.
we know who's Swerve, obviously. We know who's up there. We know who's around it, MJF. But I actually like it when it's the Attitude Era and you have 8 fucking dudes that could be world champion at any time. Just because we're not playing hot potato with it.
But you didn't need Steve Austin to be the champion.
That's why I said I don't want the championship then. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree that Austin didn't need to be champion to know that he was the fucking most over dude in the fucking promotion. When he had dropped it to The Rock or whatever, everybody was okay with it, but Austin still got the fucking biggest pop of the night. No matter if Kane held it for his one-day reign, it didn't matter if Undertaker held it, it didn't matter if fucking Mankind held it. We know who the fuck was carrying the show. I agree with you there. But they didn't create a second world title during the Attitude Era either because of that. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
They did eventually make one kind of because of that.
What are you talking about? The Stone Cold title? He was the world champion when that happened, though. It was just a replacement title.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about Stone Cold specifically at that point.
Talking about Roman?
I'm saying they got to a point with the roster where it was like you have guys that need a belt.
Okay, well, I don't know. That was their thinking. I don't agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Is if you're going to do that, I don't have a problem with the divided roster for WWE because they did it in 2002 when it's 2025. Okay, that was when the first draft took place. Then they eventually brought over the big gold title for the Raw side or whatever and handed it over to Triple H and all that bullshit. That's fine, whatever. AEW
earned it.
No, he didn't. He literally got handed the title in the fucking ring. But on AEW side, you've been around for 6 years. We don't need a second world title. We don't need a split. Just be happy that your roster's so fucking stacked, bro. It's not that serious. I don't think that's why people like having the conversation of who do you think the next 4 world champions are. I couldn't give 2 fucks who the next 4 world champions are in WWE. You get what I'm saying? Like that's a
First
fun
of all,
conversation to have in AEW.
Goldberg.
Who you think should be and who is going to be are 2 different things. First of all,
Goldberg, Jimmy Uso. It's got to get his come up.
hype levels for AEW All In. I'm gonna give it a 10. Obviously, you got 2 Casino Gauntlet matches. You've got Okada versus
10.
Omega. You've got Ospreay and fucking Swerve versus the Bucks. Like Moxley versus Paige, obviously, and Storm versus Mercedes is going to be insane. The only bad part about the Storm versus Mercedes match to me is that we don't get a second world title match. Now, I do think that they just gave that time to the Gauntlet match, which is fine because it's our first ever women's Casino Gauntlet match. So I'm okay with it, I guess. But as far as a singles match or whatever, I think this would be a great time to bring in these fucking tag titles. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well, when the Iconics went over to TNA, they kind of fucked all that up.
I don't think so.
'Cause that was your building block for the tag division. Uh,
Your building block right now is Megan Bayne and fucking Penelope Ford.
Penelope Ford. Yeah. Did you watch the
And Willow and
AEW
Chris, if you
yet?
ever put them back together like you should be. Do what?
You watch
Oh,
AEW
yeah, I
yet?
saw that they're on there and they broke everything or some stupid shit. I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't watch it yet either. I will afterward.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, this is like an easy 10. The whole fucking card up to that. Like this, as soon as they announced Okada versus Omega, I was like, shit, I should go. And just the way that everything fell with timing and stuff is not a good time for me to go. But I want to. But it's just summer in Texas is already kind of fucking rough.
Wrestling fans too.
Just by itself. Yeah. And then just time wise, it just doesn't really work out.
Since we're kind of talking about women in AEW, would you like to tell the viewing audience what creative control is, who actually has it, and who actually uses it?
Tony Khan has it, and he uses it to write the storylines. People wanting certain wrestlers to have the belt.
The Young Bucks don't even really have creative control, like
Raw.
legit creative control. The Young Bucks don't even have it.
Yeah, they don't, because what I've seen from and heard from different backstage stuff is that they get overruled pretty regularly on some of their ideas, which is fine. Like they're still able to do a lot of stuff they want to do, but like they don't have creative control. Creative control. If you want a good example of creative control, you can look at Triple H anytime in the last fucking 15 years before he was a booker. You look at Hulk Hogan, obviously, is a big example. But no, creative control doesn't mean you. First of all, it doesn't always necessarily mean that you write yourself in to win the fucking belt all the time either. It's just that that's how a lot of very egotistical wrestlers end up using it. But no, Mercedes does not have creative control just because. And the funny thing is too, they'll point at her indie championships as like, oh, that's her using her creative motherfucker. She doesn't have creative control in companies that she's not like that she's just signed on to as like a talent.
Can I ask you a question? What indie promoter is going to get and pay for Mercedes Moné to come in there and be like, nah, you're not going to win our title tonight? You know how much fucking recognition and fucking pub you get if she gets your title? Everybody should be calling her right now and be like, hey, you got any free dates to come get our fucking title too?
One of the belts she has, I had never heard of that fucking promotion in my life until she had the belt for it. So that's what it's for.
Well, the same thing we were doing with Cardona too, by the way. Did Cardona have creative control?
No, but people wanted him.
That's my point. But nobody said. No one ever
Yeah.
fucking said Matt Cardona's got creative control.
Yeah, it's weird. Especially the people that talk about it just because of the indie stuff. It's crazy. It's like, do you think that she went to Tony and said, it says in my contract I can win a belt whenever I want, so I want this one for this completely fucking unrelated promotion? Like, how do you think that works? He's just obligated to pay for her to go win it? Like, what is the process in your head? Jesus.
I don't get it. Because they're either sexist or racist or both.
It's just maybe a little bit of both, and maybe just dumb.
Oh, dumb, yeah. Well, dumb, obviously. We already know that.
But nobody was talking about Chris Statlander having creative control in the fucking indie company she just want to build at.
She should come out with a Casino Gauntlet match with that title too.
Also, the funniest thing is, you know, who
But
has
she's
a
the
lot of
first.
creative
She's the
control
first
nobody
entrant in
ever
the
bitches
women's
about?
one. What?
John Moxley has a lot of creative control. He doesn't have it. He probably doesn't have it like written into his contract or anything, but he's got a lot of control over his own creative. Nobody ever bitches about that.
He was talking about. He was
You
talking
bitch
about. He was talking about working with Swerve forever because he was his favorite in Lucha Underground. He was talking about getting Marina Shafir in his stable forever. He
Yeah.
got that. There's a difference between creative input and creative control.
Right. And I'm sure Mercedes has a lot of creative input because they paid a bunch of fucking money for her.
Correct. As
So
she
you
should.
would want the person that you paid a bunch of fucking money for to be happy there and happy with what they're doing. So yeah, you probably do let them have some input on the direction of their character, the direction of some of their arcs and stuff like that. But that's not any different than any other big fucking name star
You
that
think
they have.
You think Tony Storm, once that shit popped off
Yeah.
for her fucking shit, that she ain't got creative control? Look at the shit that she does and says. She's got creative control.
You know who had?
creative input, rather.
You know, who had creative control of that was fucking RJ City.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that Tony Storm had a lot of input on it, but nobody bitched about that either. It's like, oh, she's got to go over Mariah. Yeah, she does. And if Tony Storm went backstage and said, you know, Mariah's probably leaving in a year, and I want to go over, is that creative control? No, that's her input, and it was correct, by the way. So whatever.
All right, glad we got that out of the way. Question for you. Did WWE give up on Ricky Starks already?
Yeah, and Ethan Page, and you know they did bring. It's so funny that people were complaining about like, oh, why are they not using Ray Phoenix that much? Or not using Andrade that much? They throw them together in a fucking tag team. Like Ray Phoenix doesn't already have like 30 fucking years of history in a tag team with another guy that you guys just hired that you could put him in a tag team with. No, you got to put him with fucking Andrade. Crazy.
They're all interchangeable. You know this.
Say, what are you talking about there, buddy?
Exactly what Triple H fucking does. That's what I'm talking about. I'm making no fucking secrets about what I fucking think about Triple H, bro. It's like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, no, I think they give it up on Ricky Starks, dude. I'm not even joking. Like, that's crazy. He's gonna get drafted at the next draft, not show up forever, or show up right away and then fizzle out, and they're not gonna do anything with him. I fully expect him to go the Carmelo Hayes route on the main roster.
They realized kind of the same thing that everybody else did, which is that he's a passable wrestler who has, if you were to grade them on a scale of A to F, he's got like a B minus mic skill, which is good.
Really
Maybe
good.
a B plus, which is good, but he's not ever going to fucking stand out over some of the other people that you have there based on size, as shitty as it is. And just based on like the fact that the things that he is good at, he's not great at.
My favorite argument about everything about Ricky Starks is like, we wanted him to be pushed more, right?
Yeah.
But when you don't know what's going on backstage as far as, hey, his contract's coming up and Tony knows that he's really good friends with Cody and he's not re-signing. So what the fuck did you think was going to happen? So he gave him a little taste. He gave him the TNT title. He gave him the tag title. He gave him the FTW title. He put him in storylines. He was getting over. Everything is great. But if you're not going to re-sign there anyway, you're not going to get the fucking world title. You're not going to get that major push that you want. Like, what did you think was going to happen when we all see that you're friends with CM Punk and Cody behind the scenes, and your contract's coming up and you're not re-signing? Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I'm not blaming TK for that. Now, when we're watching TV, we're like, yeah, man, fucking Ricky Starks should be on our TV, but that's not how it always goes behind the scenes. So it's not Ricky's fault either. If that's where he wanted to be, that's where he wanted to be. But my favorite part is, people were talking so much shit about the way Adam Cole looked when he came back from injury. Oh, man, he's so small and everything. I'm sitting there like, well, what do you think about Ricky Starks over in WWE? Small? Yeah? Does he look small to you?
Yeah.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? They're not going to do anything with him. Triple H is the same as fucking Vince when it comes to that kind of shit. That's why Carmelo Hayes did so well in NXT and Adam Cole did so well in NXT, because they were going against other dudes that were their similar sizes. They didn't get put up to the fucking main roster, and you're going against fucking the goddamn Karrion Crosses of the world that make you look fucking small as shit. You're not going to do anything. They're not going to put you over no matter how stupid we think it is, because we've seen Daniel Bryan win the fucking world title over Batista, Orton, and fucking Triple H at WrestleMania. But he had this fucking crazy it factor in the groundswell of support behind it. So unless you have that, you're probably not going to get pushed in WWE.
Right. And you got guys like Kofi who are not like.
He also got the groundswell, though.
By any means.
He got the groundswell.
Right. And it's literally just crowd support that pushes them.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky doesn't have that. Like, people will cheer for his promos and cheer for his little catchphrases and shit like that. But other than that, he doesn't do enough. I would say it's not that he doesn't do enough in the ring, because I think even if he was like a fucking Roderick Strong level worker, I don't think people would care that much about him either.
Yeah, because I could say the same thing about Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander and Buddy Matthews when they were over there. They were doing the Roderick Strong style constantly, and they popped
really behind.
They popped for them. By the end, it was like
during the match.
Crickets at the beginning of the match, popping hard as fuck at the end of the match, and then they do nothing with them. So then it's the exact same thing, rinse and repeat over and over every time they go out there, because WWE wasn't taking that pop and doing something with them. Correct.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know what you do with Ricky at this point, because I don't know. Everybody talks about like, oh, he's got so much charisma or whatever. It's like he's got some, yeah. But he's not like blowing me away every time he's fucking out there or anything. He's a guy that talks pretty good.
Should have stayed. There's some people that some people just got to make their own mistakes, bro. Should have stayed. I think Mariah's going to be the same way. I really do.
I think Mariah's at risk of that more than, because Starks, even in AEW, he's still, and I don't mean in a physique way, but he's still a small fish in a big pond over there. He's not a big fish in a little pond. And in NXT, he's a medium fish in a small pond.
The problem,
he can stand out a little bit.
The real problem is that if they fail over there, AEW is going to be too big. That pond is going to be too big, and we're going to be like, no, do we really need you anymore? Not really. Not really.
Unless we want to.
They're getting huge.
The best stuff in his career was both of his tag teams, as far as AEW goes. And then the split with Hobbs and that little feud that they did was
I like the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat Daniel Bryan shit. That was pretty good. The strap match and beating the shit out of Ricky Steamboat. But yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like they forgot about him already, honestly.
I feel like I forgot about fucking
to be there that long.
Ron Killings already too.
No, that's because they didn't want him to come back. They didn't even want him back. Triple H didn't even want him back. He got rid of him. Don't get me started on that shit, bro. Like, what did they think was going to happen exactly? Of course, they gave up on him because they never fucking believed him in the first place. If you could fix,
they did. They booked him in the Aleister Black thing.
Okay, good for them.
But they don't really. You know.
What are they going to do?
Aleister
Black beats Ron Killings. Then what does Aleister Black do? Because the last time he was in the middle of a feud with an African American, he got released. So I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do here. Well, I mean, WWE likes to repeat themselves all the time. I'm just letting you know, like, that's what happened. Big E's hurt.
Well, you know, his shoulders have a real allergy to the mat too. So I don't know if he's.
Come on, man. Are you really believe that? You think Aleister Black had creative control?
No, but you don't need creative control to fucking stamp your feet and be like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Aleister Black thing, or Malachi, whatever you want to call him. In AEW, everybody else that stomped their feet and said they weren't going to do that, the Andrades and the Rusevs and everybody.
They just didn't get booked.
They didn't get booked, but Malachi kept getting booked, though.
Because he was part of a fucking kind of difference.
Stable. Oh my god!
Because he was part of a stable with two other people.
Okay, and
so they could eat the fucking pins if they needed to lose.
They're doing just fine without him.
They are, because they know how to fucking just take pins if they need to lose.
All right, so if you could fix one thing in AEW and one thing in WWE right now to make it more enjoyable for you personally as a wrestling fan, what would it be? Pick one for each. One for each.
Damn. One for each. Let's speed it up on this fucking MJF storyline. We all know that they're gonna break up. It just feels like
You just want to make a
If-
storyline go faster?
yeah.
But
I-
but you know what they're gonna do with MJF if he's not doing that. If he's not doing an actual storyline, a long-term storyline, he's just gonna be in the title picture, and we don't need him in the title picture right now because you just said how convoluted it is and how stacked it is. So,
You put him back in the fucking TNT title picture or something.
oh my god, that is
He's got
a
beef with
terrible
Cole.
idea. No, that's what.
For him.
Oh my god, that's so bad. I think this should end up with Bobby Lashley winning the Dynamite Battle Royal and being the first person to win. That's not MJF.
Oh yeah, just wearing the
That
ring
would be
around
sick.
him.
Oh, that would be sick. I think that would be
You're
hilarious.
always catching him staring at the fucking ring.
Yep. And, or him somehow always making sure that the ring is in front of MJF's face. Like have him a tag team match and have him reach out with the ring on his hand for the tag. I think
Anytime
that
he's
should
doing
be
a
funny.
promo, just make sure he's holding the mic with the
That should be funny.
hand
as
with
fuck,
it
though.
out. Yeah.
I think that would be good. I
Um,
think they can draw that a little bit more. Well, I agree that they should make it quicker as far as the actions in the stable, but I don't believe that the storyline should be shorter, if that makes sense. Like, I want to see that, what I just presented. I want to see MJF cost them the tag titles. I want to see Bobby versus MJF in a singles
my problem
match.
is they're still getting along too much right now. I need more tension. And you know the tension's gonna come, but they don't have it right now. So right now they're just like a normal stable.
Well, that's because they're winning right now. Once they start losing matches, I get
That's
how
what
the
I need.
storyline
I need
usually
them to start
goes.
losing.
Oh, okay, well, goddamn, man.
Wrap it up.
We're not gonna lose that all in. Hey, it's all right, buddy. What are
Oh,
you barking at?
did we even talk about it's not on the card officially yet, but
Come here.
Claudio and Yuta challenged for the trios titles against the Ops. But they don't have a third. So it's like a mystery who their third is gonna be. So some people are saying it might be Gabe Kidd. Some people are saying Pac might be back. We'll see.
What the hell's going on with Pac?
so
Is it still Visa shit?
Yeah, it's Visa shit.
It's fucking stupid, bro. I've never seen somebody have that many issues with Visa shit in my life.
Fucking Sheeta's having it right now.
Yeah, well, Sheeta, yeah. Well, all their Japanese wrestlers, right? Because maybe it's just not safe for them to come over right now. Obviously, because you don't have Yuka Sakazaki, you don't have shit. Damn it, I just lost her name. The one that does the Freddie Mercury gimmick.
Amy Sakura.
Yeah, Amy Sakura. Yeah. So yeah, like I don't know, man. You're a good boy. Just stop barking everywhere. All right, so the AEW one is to move the MJF storyline along. Okay. And your
I
WWE
found pretty much everything else.
your WWE one is
Turn off commentary. Just give me an option for just turn it off. Give me an option to watch the fucking show without commentary. I don't. There's not a single fucking commentator on that show that I want to listen to. Not one. I fucking hate all of them.
I won't go that far. I don't hate all of them. I like the Pat Michael
I
Cole.
don't hate them as people.
I
But
like
I hate listening to them talk.
I like the Pat Michael Cole team up because you definitely can tell that Cole enjoys his job a lot more now that Vince ain't in his fucking ear yelling all the time. But I mean, I get what you're saying, but that'd be the two that I could listen to. I'm not a huge fan. I like
Shield chair.
I don't.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't. Okay. I don't know about. I don't mind Wade Barrett either. Actually, to be real with you,
Yeah, he's not bad. But isn't he normally? He's normally doing pre-show and shit now.
SmackDown. No, he does SmackDown.
Oh, does he?
No, he does Raw or SmackDown. Raw, SmackDown with SmackDown with I think he does it with Joe, the dude they got from ESPN or whoever.
Yeah, they just had. I think they've got.
Because Corey Graves
is
does
back
the
more often now,
NXT.
too.
Well, he's gonna be now because Pat is taking a break. So
Yeah, let's turn off all the commentators. That's what I want.
all right, so no commentators for WWE, and in AEW, move the MJF storyline faster. That's his two things that he would change right now to make it more enjoyable for him
but-
as a wrestling fan. All right, well,
Yeah.
mine are. I'll start with WWE since you started with AEW. Where to begin with WWE? Because the problem is I can only pick one thing. That's the real issue here, and commentators wasn't
You know,
in my
we need
top
more
five.
Slim Jim logos actually.
Five. That's what you need. You would change it to have more Slim Jim logos.
Yeah.
I actually like
need-
Slim
I
Jim,
need
so I
8.
wouldn't even mind if it's a sponsor. I already fucking.
I need the whole
like,
ring
I don't
to
really
just
care.
be a fucking Slim Jim logo.
If I had to pick one thing right now to make this show more enjoyable for me for WWE, it would be better / more PLE matches. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. Ever since they went like the full PLE route, where almost no one anymore pays $60 for their fucking pay-per-views, like through traditional cable or DirecTV or Dish or whatever. They've been fucking phoning it in with these 5 or 6 matches that have had little to no impact on me as a fan. It's all the same shit. I can't remember the last WWE match where I watched it and immediately said to myself, fuck, that was awesome. I have to go back and rewatch this. You know how many times I've rewatched AEW pay-per-views?
Yeah.
Like 2 days later? I watched fucking Double or Nothing 3 times already.
It's
Full.
It's almost
From
like
start to finish.
the pay-per-view matches in WWE, they're definitely just looking at them like, here's the next plot point in the story.
Well, the problem is they have too many
they're
of them
not-
too, by the way.
They're not like good matches anymore. I don't know, like what's
Too
the last
many,
like
too many PLEs and not enough matches on
not
them.
even PLE. Like what's the last good men's match you saw in WWE? Because it's women are a little bit easier to pick, I feel like, honestly. What's the last good men's match you saw in WWE?
The last good men's match, I could not tell you.
I'm trying to think.
The
Maybe,
last good women's match was the fucking triple threat at WrestleMania, right?
Okay, so we're talking about like great matches.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? I'm talking about matches that I would go back and rewatch on my own time. So yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Great.
You're talking about great matches. I'm talking about the last good match. The match where you sat there afterward and were like, oh, that was a fucking good match. I can't. It's been a minute.
I don't know, Vikingo versus fucking Chad Gable. At Worlds Collide.
Definitely nothing in their main event scene though.
Well, yeah, nothing for their actual shit that they got going on. Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe
it has to be some kind of special attraction type shit.
Like all the Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Cody, Jey Uso, everything at the top lately has just been so dog shit. I don't know. Yeah, it's just
All right, for my AEW,
that's what I would change it. Stop having shitty matches.
I just said you can steal my shit. I just said that.
You said have more matches.
I said if I had to pick one thing right now to make the show more enjoyable for me, it would be better / more PLE matches.
Just be better. Just be better. That's how you would make it better for you, is for them to be better.
Better
That's
matches.
a really good
yes.
answer.
It's better than turn off commentary.
No, it's not.
If you had better matches, the commentary would be better. They wouldn't have to say stupid shit.
Shield chair and powerbomb through the Slim Jim table, brought to you by fucking Slim Jim.
That's not what they do. That's not
Shut
what
the
they do.
fuck up.
That's not what they do.
That motherfucker did say shield chair, and that's when I was like, you know what? I'm done listening to commentary.
AEW, what I would change to make it more enjoyable for me, I would say women's tag titles, but I believe we're actually going to get those before this year ends, so I won't waste my answer on that. Because I've been saying that for, 2 years now, it seems like.
System.
The genie system.
You don't want to waste your wish on something that's already going to happen.
I think it is going to happen, and I'll go a little bit more I'll go a little bit more nuanced with my answer. I would stop stable hopping / changing so much. Without any fucking actual reason of why it happened.
Is this a Scorpio Sky dig? Is this what we're talking about?
Actually, don't. I actually like Scorpio Sky coming back. Scorpio Sky hasn't been there forever. I don't give a fuck what he does.
No, but I'm saying they put him with
fucking stables. Hasn't existed for 2+ years.
But they put him right with an existing stable, is what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, not really, because that stable had already split up into 2 things because the crew gone. So it's really just Top Flight. That's not really a stable. That's a tag team.
But what's her name is there? Layla Gray.
That's not a stable, though.
She wrestles. It's a stable.
It's not a stable. It's not. It's not, dude.
You don't think a 3-person? You don't think a 3-person group is a stable?
Yeah, but they don't wrestle as the 3-person group, so it doesn't matter.
They would if they had fucking intergender triple threat.
They do have intergender matches in AEW.
And
they haven't wrestled.
Man tags. 6 man.
I would stop stable hopping / changing so much. Undisputed Elite, Undisputed Kingdom, Paragon, for example. That's annoying to me. There was no reason, in my opinion, to take away Bennett and Taven from the fucking group. They were great in the MJF Cole storyline. The conglomeration is another one. Kyle was in both groups at the same time somehow. There's not enough flow between
He's
the
a
changes.
likable guy.
There's not enough flow between the changes, not enough time to let the story fucking breathe. They pull the trigger on stable changes too fast, in my opinion. So I would change that.
Hmm. Hey, you think this is coming from you playing too many wrestling sims?
Fucking Pinnacle, MJF was in like fucking 4 stables in a year. Like come on, man.
Yeah, but everybody that you're fucking mentioning right now is MJF. So this is an MJF problem.
No, it's not. How's that an MJF problem?
So
for
your
the
answer
Undisputed?
is the same as mine.
No, it's not.
Hurry it up with the MJF shit is your answer.
So I don't want him to be in another fucking stable. I said slow it down, motherfucker. I don't want him to go to another stable. I'm doing the opposite of you, technically, and it's not even fucking an MJF thing. MJF wasn't in the fucking Undisputed fucking kingdom.
He kind of was.
No, he wasn't.
He was involved in that storyline.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the storyline, bro. The storyline was brought up because of Taven and fucking Bennett, who are now relegated to fucking Ring of Honor for some reason. When they were fucking 2 of the better parts of the Cole MJF storyline after Cole and MJF.
Well, didn't Bennett and his wife just have another kid or something?
Yes, but Maria's didn't re-sign the contract. Bennett's still there. Bennett didn't have the kid.
He still has to get time. What do you, have you never heard of fucking parental leave, brother?
They're literally in Ring of Honor right now, bro.
Yeah, but he's working a lot less in Ring of Honor.
Also,
Then he would be
I
on the
could
main
also
roster.
throw in Ring of Honor stables that you did. Would you or the fucking or none of AEW one, the fucking Righteous when they had Lance Archer. I thought that was gonna be fucking awesome, and then they fucking split that up. They had the Righteous go down to fucking Ring of Honor and get fucking Elias, and then 2 weeks later, Elias is in TNA, and they split that up. Then the Righteous don't re-sign. There's too much of that. I think you need to make sure that you have these fucking guys under contract, for one, for that kind of shit, and 2, you need and. LFI with Jake Roberts out of nowhere that didn't make any sense, and now he hasn't been with them in forever. Now fucking Beast Morto's not with LFI anymore. Now he's with fucking Don Callis' family. No, there's too much of that shit. They have.
You know why? Because fucking Mercedes Moné used her creative control to get him in a higher place on the card.
Yeah, he's still eating pins though, so it doesn't matter. I don't like that kind of shit.
Not that powerful.
I don't like that kind of shit.
She got to keep him. She got to make sure that he doesn't get
like you. I don't have too much to complain about AEW, so I had to go deeper, and that would be my thing. I could enjoy it more if they didn't have so much fucking stable breaking up without any answer or any reasons why. You don't relay that message on TV ever of why the fuck Taven and Bennett are not in this group.
Yeah, well, what do you want them to? You want them to just
you wasted the fucking cool vignettes you were doing with the Righteous with Elias for no reason.
Well, hold on. They didn't necessarily have any control over whether or not the Righteous were gonna leave.
It wasn't, but the Righteous didn't leave till after Elias left. You had a chance to fucking. Why would you put Elias with them if you thought he had a chance to fucking leave to go right back to TNA? That makes no sense to me. No,
They could have been lying.
Oh my god.
He could have been lying.
Yeah, fucking 2-week fucking contract. No, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. But that would be the thing I would change. All right. Yeah. So now we're gonna end it on the good, bad, and the ugly of the week. I do have a couple things here. For me, the good. MLW and MLP. No, I go a little bit deeper. MLW and MLP. Major League Wrestling and Maple Leaf Pro. They're both doing very well and are both fun to watch right now. If you're tired of WWE and AEW isn't enough of a wrestling fix for you, I strongly encourage you to check these promotions out because it's easy to consume their product because they both have a bunch of shit on YouTube. They're not without their flaws, of course. You know, Riddle being the champion over in MLW. If you're not into Riddle, obviously, for various reasons. So they do have some flaws, of course. They're not perfect, but overall they're hitting on a lot more than they're missing, which is something I can't say for WWE right now because they're missing a lot and they're not hitting a lot. So I do think that MLW and MLP are doing really good. And obviously MLP uses a lot of AEW guys, Canadian wrestlers up there. They just had Josh Alexander and Dark Order up there. They just had Shotzi versus Giselle Shaw for a title up there, which was a really good match. And then in MLW, you have the new Skyscrapers, which I thought was awesome, which is Dominic Dijakovic and Baron Corbin. as their new tag team champions, as the new Skyscrapers. I thought that was awesome. I love to see that Bishop Dyer, whatever his name is now, has continued to wrestle. So that would be my good. I think there's things that you can check out that if you're getting tired of WWE and you want to free up that 7 hours of programming a week of nothing, and you want to put
But you hate AEW.
No. You could still like AEW. AEW might not be enough for you. I mean, you really like wrestling, so go check these guys out. I didn't say anything about hating AEW.
Some
I
people
said
do
if you're
AEW.
tired of, well, that's because they love WWE. So this ain't for them.
I don't know, man. I've seen some people that love WWE getting pretty tired of some of the shit lately.
Well, sometimes the light bulb goes off. My bad for the week. Oh, so your good is you're just gonna go with Okada versus Ibushi?
Fuck yeah, that was very
I mean,
good.
no, obviously, it's not very good. Good,
It's
bad,
good to.
ugly.
All right, well, hold on. If you want to go deeper, let's go deeper. It's good to see that Ibushi is back and in good shape, and that he's back pretty much to the ring form that we expect him to be in as Ibushi. You know,
You're not, dude, when you watch Ibushi and he's wrestling and you know he's going against Okada and you know this motherfucker going to take neck bumps and shit, are you not watching his every fucking move like we did with Danielson or we do with fucking I do
waiting for him to die.
I do with Bandito, who took a nasty fucking power bomb from Takeshita and hit the fucking back of his head, and I'm sitting there, all I could think about was like the first move you did when you came back in Ring of Honor was get a goddamn concussion off the top rope. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, ooh, I hope you get up from that. Like some people I'm just looking at, like Cole, when Adam Cole takes the fucking bumps, I'm sitting there like, ooh, I don't know. So you do that with Ibushi when you watch him? That is pretty brutal, some of the shit he does.
Not as much because he's never really had like a major like he talked a lot about like losing feeling in his arm and stuff like that.
Shibata is another one, by the way.
Yeah, Shibata, I definitely head stuff for sure. But no, I don't. His neck bumps, they don't bother me as much as like, because I'm so used to seeing way worse ones from him in like every G1 for the last however long. So nah, that one, no, I have more of that with Danielson, and I know what you're talking about. I have more of that with like Danielson and Cope and people like that than I ever did with Ibushi. Ibushi doesn't worry me that much. His neck bumps look worse, but I'm never scared for him in the same way.
My bad of the week is Asuka losing in the Queen of the Ring finals to Jade. And it's not necessarily because Jade won, it's because she beat Asuka to win. So I didn't have a problem with Jade winning the tournament.
Like,
I had a problem.
Came back.
Yes. You came back, won one match, and then you lost the fucking Queen of the Ring final. Like, I can say the same thing about the Kairi Sane thing. She was gone, didn't have a match for 2 years, come back, and you immediately lose your first match back? What the fuck are we doing? How do you still not know that Asuka is still in your top 3 women's wrestlers on your roster?
They hate women, bro. Just like, or they just hate Japanese women. I don't know. They don't know how to book them. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It wasn't a good match either, by the way. But that could have been because of a lot of stuff. So, I mean, it was in Saudi after all.
You know what it was.
Hot. The fucking, you're wearing shit that's making you hotter, first of all. So that didn't help. You had to give the match a decent amount of time because it's the fucking final of the tournament. And then, of course, Jade Cargill is not on Asuka's level when it comes to be in between the ropes. Which is, it's okay to say. It's not a diss on Jade in any kind of way. It's just a fact.
I think she would say that too. Everybody knows that. That's fine.
It's just being honest with herself. Yeah, if she wasn't in character and saying I'm the best because, you know, there's people out there that are sports people that think they're the best, and we know they're not the best. Everybody knows they're not the best.
Bro, you've had 8 fucking wrestling trainers, and you're still just don't. And one of them was Bryan Danielson, and you're still not.
I love Jade, and I don't even have a problem with her winning the thing because
I like Jade too.
Yeah, and we know that from the show. But I love Jade. But if she would have beat somebody else in the final, I think it would have been better. Like Zelina Vega going back to the finals to try to repeat, and then getting destroyed by Jade would have been cool to me. I would have been fine with that. But beating Asuka, dude, it's not Jade's fault. She doesn't have creative control. What fucking Asuka,
that we know of.
But Asuka did.
Maybe she does. This is starting to make me wonder.
All right, and then my ugly of the week. WWE wastes
I didn't even say my. I didn't even say my bad.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You're bad.
Yeah.
My bad. You're bad. Don't take my shit then.
No, it's just gonna touch on something we already talked about, which is just that the entire handling and promotion of Evolution is just not good.
Now, I will say that part of it isn't their fault because they didn't know Liv Morgan was going to be hurt and fucking have to have surgery. But to tie up a
For the
lot of your
one match,
to
it's not their
tie no,
fault.
she was involved in a bunch of shit. She had the Nikki Bella shit going on. She was going to be apparently there was also talks of her going to be
Well,
fighting the
thank you.
Io Sky instead of Rhea Ripley. She was involved in a bunch of shit. It kind of fucking threw the whole thing off the rails. But my problem is with it is that you knew that pay-per-view was coming and then you try to put all your chips with Liv Morgan of all people for the pay-per-view. That didn't make any sense to
What
me.
does that mean? What does that mean?
Come on, man. She wasn't even fucking champion.
Let's piss off all those obsessed Liz.
I don't give a
fans
fuck.
on
I like Liv Morgan, but you don't put a fucking half a tag team champion in 3 different storylines going into something that you are making out to be a big deal when we all know it's not. Because we know that you don't care. Because we know you don't give a fuck.
Injury prone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What they should have done is because it's her shoulder or whatever, or arm or whatever the fuck it was, they should have had fucking Rhea do an angle with her, and then Rhea do her fucking revenge
Throw
tour.
her into the wall?
Yeah. Do her revenge tour, win the title from Io Sky, and then steal Dominic back.
Well, that'd be kind of weird.
So good, dude.
That'd be kind of weird since the whole fucking point of that was that Rhea originally injured her, apparently. Wasn't that the whole thing? So that's why Liv was out?
No, Liv injured her.
She got injured. Well, I thought I thought Rhea injured her. That's why she was out. And then when she came back into that angle where she threw her into that fucking wall or whatever.
No,
Rhea went into it shoulder first.
Yeah, so they just
I thought
go
they
back
both
and forth.
injured each other.
I don't know if she actually hurt her. I don't know. Remember what the injury was before that. I don't know if it was a storyline or real either. But this is real, so this would have been funny to me.
Yeah,
it would have been so good, especially if she would have stole Dominic back. That would have been fucking hilarious. Are you telling me Dominic is about to literally go from Rhea to Liv to Roxanne, and he's married in real life? This man is living it.
His wife's got to be.
No, his wife is a beast.
Real secure.
Yes, a beast. Shout out to Dominic Mysterio's wife, bro. Like, what the fuck? Ain't no fucking body else in the world that would do that shit. Nobody. Sammy's wife couldn't even handle it.
Text me on fucking Slack at work.
Okay. And then my ugly of the week. WWE wastes no time throwing up July 4th tribute videos, but completely ignored June's Pride Month despite having multiple LGBTQ wrestlers on their roster, and Juneteenth, despite having many black wrestlers on their roster, even though Triple H doesn't know that because he can't see them. This annoys me as a fan, especially when they went out of their way to weekly in February highlight different African-American wrestlers like Junkyard Dog and Big Cat Ernie Ladd and all these guys. Ron Simmons, obviously, for being the first black world champion, not in their company, by the way. So them to waste no time at all as soon as 12 o'clock hits to throw up, Triple H throws up a fucking July 4th video to celebrate America in its current state really rubbed me the wrong way. I don't like Triple H right now at all. Like, at all.
Do you think it's because Triple H thinks that being gay is a choice?
I don't know what Triple H thinks. I honestly don't know.
He's by a lot of things, but lingo ain't one of them.
I don't know what I don't know what he thinks, bro. I don't know how you can have 3-4 daughters or whatever the hell he has and think that what you're doing is okay as far as your family goes. With Vince on one side and Linda on the other side, I don't understand how you.
We're talking politics.
We're talking about politics and fucking Vince's sexual assault case.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't understand why you're trying to bridge the gap. Stephanie got away from it. Stephanie got the fuck out of there. Maybe you should listen to your wife every now and then, bro. Like,
well, that's why they're divorced.
They're not fucking divorced, bro. He was literally. I don't give a fuck about Twitter. Twitter is not real. And fucking, he was just on her Stephanie's podcast or whatever, talking about.
Oh, like, so you got to be married to everybody you're on a podcast with?
So he was. We're married right now. You didn't know that?
Oh, that's gay.
It's gay and incestual. Fucking. He was talking about his heart thing or whatever, and I was like, it's hard for me to feel bad about this dude. Like, yeah, that sucked. Don't get me wrong. But it's hard for me to feel bad about, like, your father-in-law is a sex pest. Your mother-in-law doesn't know anything about education whatsoever, but is trying to pretend that she does. Yeah, I just
You
don't.
literally have
like,
family in the administration.
You
taking
literally
away
get
healthcare,
asked point
bitching about
blank
your
by
heart issues.
Seahawk. You get asked point blank by Seahawk what the fuck's going on with the race shit in your fucking promotion because no black people are being pushed in any kind of way, even though they definitely have the talent. I don't see color, right? No, not right, motherfucker. We all see color, unless you're colorblind, legit. And then, by the way, you can still see who's black and who's not when you're colorblind. I don't know what the fuck your bullshit reasoning is or what you try to spin it as, but every time he says right after something, it really annoys me too, by the way. It really fucking annoys me.
That's a habit in online debate spaces that I really hate too. Because
not right.
Not right. The
Yeah,
thing you just said is not right.
Yeah, exactly.
You saying
Not
right as a leading fucking like trying to gain agreement thing is not working.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Speaking of things not working, my ugly is CM Punk.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was the easy one. Yeah. That was the easy one.
Hope he enjoyed his little Saudi show, and no comment.
I can't believe that I've completely come around to saying I don't know if you know this or not, but because I don't really post on our Twitter page anymore, but I do post on Blue Sky a lot. I like the community over there better, obviously. Let me see. When was this fucking Night of Champions bullshit? Was it last week?
It was 2 weeks ago now, wasn't it?
Was it 2 weeks ago? It might have been 2 weeks ago. It definitely wasn't last week because I didn't
I don't
watch
know.
it. I watched it, by the way. Unfortunately for me. Fuck.
No, it was last week.
Was it
June
last
28th.
weekend? June 28th. So 7 days ago. Was it? Oh no, was it Saturday? It was not Saturday, so 6 days ago, or 8 days, or 9 days ago rather. Shit. There we go.
You're getting
I
there.
think I got it. 8 days ago.
8.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, here it goes. World of numbers.
6, 7, 9, or 8 days ago.
Yes.
Remember that right?
A Baker's Week. Warrior was my favorite when I was small. HBK was when I was a teen. Punk as a young adult. Bryan Daniel as a man. I've never been one to look at someone's personal life as an indictment on how much I like them as a wrestler, but in 2025, that shit has to matter. Punk is a fraud. And of course, I got a bunch of likes on it. So I've completely come off the CM Punk shit.
Shit-lived Blue Sky, where they lack you for
telling the truth. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was if he just wouldn't have said anything at all about it, I almost would have respected it more. But the apology and shit is just so.
Well, they said it was a plant too, which makes it worse. I don't think that makes it better. I think the plant being in the crowd makes it worse. So now you're just covering your own ass just to cover your. Oh my god, so dumb, bro. No, I don't know if it was a plan. I don't know if it was a plan or not. If it was a plan, he's a really good actor, that guy, because he seemed legit pissed. And, they talked for a while afterwards or whatever. And And everybody's supposed to act like this some cool, sweet moment or nothing. No, motherfucker. You're still oppressing women like a motherfucker. You're still killing journalists and shit for talking bad about you or in a way that you don't want to be talked about. No, you're a fucking piece of shit country.
Well, hold on a sec. So this is a view that I have where I feel like I'm consistent on it, but a lot of other people aren't. I'm the same way about people that are very pro-America. Because it's not like we're doing.
I didn't celebrate July 4th this year.
Yeah.
I didn't go out there and grill and fucking dress up in fucking red, white, and blue and all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck. No, fuck that. Did you? Funny thing I did post, by the way, since you brought that up, which is hilarious to me. I posted a thing that I had seen. I said how it feels to be an American on July 4th, and it was a picture of Cody with his shit in his title and doing his whoa fucking pose or whatever. And then I circled the comment. Somebody, Benji Yates, said, I would rather be the Iron Sheik this year. And I circled it, and I loved that shit. And I posted on Blue Sky, yes, that's me. Iran #1.
Yeah.
US 2. Yeah. Fuck you, bro. Like, no. Fucking, this ain't the year. Like, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So point of that being like if somebody were to have a lot of anti-American sentiment in a promo or whatever, and then just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean like
Be like, no,
I
you
don't
were
mean to
right.
make you guys mad."
No, you
Yeah.
were right. Half.
No. Yeah.
There's 50% of us that can't stand what the fuck's going on over here. There's 50% of the people that love what's going on over here and want it to get worse. So trust me, I understand that part of it. That not every American is bad or whatever the fuck you want, however you want to fucking phrase it or whatever. But people let this shit happen, so it's really on them. It's on us as a
And
whole.
when people do
honestly.
talk shit about America, I don't take it personally because I know that they don't mean my specific belief system.
Yeah, I've never
So
taken it that
dude
way.
in the crowd getting all upset about it, brother.
Yeah, maybe you should be mad about your government. I know you can't say anything about it without being beheaded over there, but maybe you should not take everything so goddamn personal when somebody said something that was correct. The problem with the Punk thing is that he still went over there. That's where he becomes the fraud. I don't give a fuck about the apology. If the apology was fake, then it's whatever. But you still went over there. That's not fake. You still had a match over there. You still got paid going over there. You didn't donate that money to go to anybody else that needed it. So you are CM fraud. You are not CM Punk because that is the least Punk thing that you could have done. It is CM Pop because you went over there for the fucking pop. You went over there for the fucking pop of the crowd and the money. That's what you went over there for. Also, it could mean pop music too because it's that would work too.
Maybe he just doesn't have creative control. So
come on, man.
He's not able.
There's no way that if Punk didn't want to go, he didn't go over there last time. He didn't want to go over there. So no, he's already had multiple Saudi shows since he's been back, and he didn't go to the last one.
Yeah, I
don't give a fuck if you have to do an injury angle every time, just like Jeff Hardy when they go to Canada because he can't go up there. Do a fucking injury angle every time, then to have it try to explain why you couldn't go up there. Yeah, like who gives a fuck? Like we know what's going on over here, but let's not pretend. Like, fucking Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wouldn't go over there because Sammy wasn't allowed over there. For how long? For how many years? A ton of time.
That was during the Syrian stuff. Yeah.
He never fucking backed down and was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go this time. Sorry, Sammy, you stay over here. I need that money." Fuck that. So no, I'm completely come around on the CM Punk shit. Like I'm over his bullshit. Like that was pretty much the last thing he could have held on to as far as any kind of conviction or anything, and he went back on that, and now it's like now you can't be a bigger hypocrite than you are. You're literally at the pinnacle of being a hypocrite right now.
I don't know. He might come out with some very right-wing opinions on trans rights soon. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, I agree with that. That's definitely a good ugly. It's probably better than mine actually, but
you didn't have the stomach to do it.
No, I had the stomach to do it. I just had already done it on. I had already done it online, so I didn't even think about it because I've already expressed my opinions on it. Whereas I haven't about this yet, so maybe that's why. I don't fucking know. Also, I tried to do it really fast this morning and write all this stuff up. So.
And the thing is, like, if he had never tried to make it into some grandstanding like moral position in the first place, I wouldn't give a shit. If you like, I don't care that anybody else went over there and wrestled.
Yeah.
Because they're not the ones who tried to make it like a fucking moral jab at somebody else for doing it.
Correct.
But when you do that and then you go do the same thing, that's when I'm like, buddy, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, and now it's bad because it's the internet where nothing ever dies. So that's gonna pop up for the rest of your career, my boy. Like the rest of your life.
Like I'm not over here like, oh, I don't think Asuka should have gone to Saudi Arabia because of their like she never fucking said anything about it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But you did, motherfucker.
Yeah, you went out of your way to talk shit about somebody else going over there. You didn't talk shit about anybody except for one person that you thought you could take probably in a actual fight or something. Because I didn't hear you say that shit about anybody else because he made some comment in character that kind of referenced you, but not really because you had said that what has Miz done? He hasn't changed the culture over there, and then Miz came back at you, and then you came back at that promo that he cut with your blood money Saudi tweet. Then you are the one that went back to WWE. You're the one that apologized to the Miz. You're the one that went back to Saudi. You're the one that apologized to the Saudi people. You're the one that's the fraud.
And in his apology to the Saudi people, he was very careful not to be. He's like, oh no, he was very careful to only talk about the Saudi people and never even once try to hint at the fact that he was making a criticism of the government, not directly, the whole time he was just like, oh,
Never
like
said
he
anything
made it
about the
sound like,
blood
oh,
money.
yeah. He the whole time he's just like, oh, I didn't know you guys were actually kind of chill. My bad. That's what he made it sound like.
Yeah,
But he
it wasn't
never
even.
even
Yeah,
touches the
correct.
government stuff.
It's not even really.
Yeah,
It wasn't even
fucking
really a
idiot.
real apology or even a good one. But yeah, it sucks because, like I said, I was a fan of his for a long time, dude. That shit sucks. That sucks. But it sucked with
You got to
the.
pick better wrestlers to be fans
Well,
of, man.
Danielson's the only one on my list that actually. Well, I will say Michaels saved his own life, honestly, because he should have been dead if he would have kept doing what he was doing. He would have died, obviously. But
My favorites have never done anything wrong. You got Kenny Omega, Pac, Hangman. No issues. What's your problem?
you don't go back further than that at all.
Nah, all that old
Okay,
shit sucks.
okay, well. Okay. Well, I'm 1 for 2 on modern people. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that bad.
Hold on.
Danielson
Who did I
is.
like back? I mean, Michaels. I was pretty big Michaels.
Well,
fan.
you were a pretty big Sting fan.
Yeah, Sting's never done anything wrong either, except
Sting
that
is a
time he
great
beat
guy.
up that kid in his house.
That was a hilarious commercial.
Take
One of my favorite
kid out and
commercials.
Run him right across the fucking mantle.
That shit was great.
Yeah, I was a big Sting fan.
That
I was a big
I
Kevin
would've
Nash
been
fan
like it.
too.
Yeah, I'm a big Kevin Nash fan right now.
Well, I was then too. I was always fucking Diesel when we used to do backyard wrestling. Or not?
I've always had a bunch of people at the top of my list. Magnum TA is a good person. I'm pretty sure. I've never heard anything bad about Magnum TA.
Never heard anything bad about who else? That's what I really into. Oh shit! No, fuck. I did like Chris Benoit a lot. that's pretty bad. I think that one probably outweighs all the other ones, huh?
You
Shit.
think?
Yeah, that was
Probably.
pretty bad.
Probably outweighs the other ones.
Yeah, he did a couple bad things.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it though. Everybody else is pretty good.
Those are my like pinnacle
Sting.
dudes during the fucking different eras, though. I mean, obviously I had other favorites because I mean, people told me, like Uncle Mark told me that I used to be a huge fan of Magnum TA back then, which I don't remember, but I mean, I believe him if he said it. I mean, obviously I was making fun of everybody, or like, yeah, I was too young. Yeah, I was fucking young as fuck with Ultimate Warrior, but I remember that. But yeah, Magnum TA was what? Fucking Magnum TA got in a car accident in like 86 or 87. So I was 1-2 years old, depending on when it actually happened. So I don't fucking remember that. But I mean,
I probably did like Undertaker a lot when I was younger, but I grew out of him while I was still young. So I don't know that I would count that.
That's crazy because his better matches would happen when he way later on, because his matches weren't even good until later on.
I think I just, you know what it was the difference between the supernatural shit in WWF and then the more, like when they did Sting in WCW, it was never like, some of the like disappearing or whatever was a little bit supernatural or whatever, but it was never like, I'm channeling the spirit of the dead.
So a lot of people got out of Undertaker when he went to American Badass.
Yeah, there's that too.
But then you had all the Hicks that really liked him, so. Then you got, I mean, he still got huge pops. Yeah, and he had the music that you could sing along with too, obviously.
Kid Rock song.
Mm-hmm. We also had the Limp Bizkit song for a little bit too. He had Rollin' as well.
Rollin'. Yeah.
All right, so that's all I got for this week, bro. We'll do some predictions, sure to be wrong, I'm sure, for at least All In. I probably won't do them for Evolution 2, and I'm definitely not doing it for Saturday Night Main Event because I really don't give a fuck about Saturday Night Main Event. But I am going to, hopefully, I have ideas to post more stuff on this platform in between podcast episodes. Some of them Ryan know about, some of them he doesn't know about, some of them involve him, some of them don't involve him. But we will definitely be posting more on here. I just don't want to tie down to like every Tuesday come back for this show, you know, because then it starts feeling like a fucking job, and I don't want it to feel like that. So I already got one of those, and I already stream multiple times a week as well. Speaking of, I had to now get off of here, go make my salads for the week, meal prep, and I have to see if my new Ethernet cable works because I finally got one. It came in yesterday, and I didn't get it off the front porch till today. So, hope everybody had a great weekend. And we'll see you guys when we see you. Deuces.